Hello guys, welcome to the Rideshare channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video, just came online for Uber and got a $29 ride. So I'm here like in my local area. Usually nothing happens, and I always come available and just like nothing. I'll be driving like this for 30 minutes without a rider. But anyways, gotta pick up somebody 10 miles away and taking them somewhere. I didn't take the screenshot, but I'm like, okay, 29 bucks, I'll take that. So the plan is to try to get as close as possible to North Carolina border and then get something to eat, because my wife said, hey, you want something to eat? But I'm like, I don't feel like eating nothing like when I wake up. It's not a morning by any means. It's like 1:53 p.m. right now. I woke up like maybe like an hour ago, but still I don't eat right away. Instead I got me some iced coffee, and I'm gonna drive down to the border, and there's like caravans there, and I've showed you guys before the caravan situation. I got 3 food plans. I'm gonna go in there and get myself 3 trays of food. I'm not gonna eat all of that. I'm just probably gonna eat like 1, maybe 2 of those meals, but usually I just eat like 1 time. That's it. It's gonna be probably like some chicken wings and maybe like some mac and cheese. I got some hot sauce with me, so when I pop the Tesla on the charge, I usually end up eating something. So that's gonna be the food situations for today. But anyways, today is Tuesday. On a Thursday, I'll be giving this car back. And every time I rent it, I'm like so excited, like I'm renting a car, and every time I'm getting ready to give it back, I'm also excited to give it back. It kind of feels like I get my life back. So with that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about the renting type of experience today. Overall, what I think about that, just like some of my thoughts and stuff, and when it comes to buying a car. I talked about similar kind of stuff before, but what I'm gonna say is this, guys. Like, I'm just gonna bring myself as an example. 4 weeks ago, man, I felt like buying a Tesla bad. Like, I really wanted to get one, okay? And it wasn't going to be buying it to do Uber, so let's just get that out of the way. But obviously, if I would buy it, I would use it for Uber, every now and then, because it's like, why not? I'm saving all this money on fuel, and I get to write off all the miles. But buying it for Uber would be a big mistake, because obviously I could get basically kicked off the platform at any day, and I'm stuck with that payment, right? So you always have to kind of think about that kind of stuff. But anyways, so I was thinking about buying a Tesla. I weighed out all of these different situations. I made a video about it. It does make sense to buy one. It does make sense to own one. But what doesn't make sense is something I want to talk about is with everything that's going on right now when it comes to electric cars. But before I get to that portion, I want to mention this like one thing. So when I rented this car 4 weeks ago, this satisfied my thirst of buying a Tesla. So I sort of get that feeling out of the way, that like hot feeling, like, man, I really want a Tesla, and I actually I got approved for auto loan, like immediately. So I felt like, man, I really need to get this, great, because I get to write off all the miles, I'll get to write off all the interest, I'll probably get that tax, $7,500 tax rebate at the end of the year. I'll probably get that. Not everybody's gonna qualify for it, but I probably would get that tax refund. So I was thinking, okay, that's great. So now I'm gonna talk about this one thing. So if you feel like buying yourself a car, I don't care what it is, like maybe it's a Prius, maybe it's some kind of like a Nissan Altima, because you don't have a car, just go rent one first, okay? Like through Uber, from Hertz or whatever. Make sure that that's what you want, drive it, feel it, experience that, that car, and then figure out whether or not that it's still best for you, because you always have to think about yourself, like, hey, is this the car for me? But when it comes to me, guys, I already have a lot of different cars, and I can get a car ready and just go ahead and drive for Uber using my car. But buying normal cars was kind of easy. That's why I have like 34 of them. Certainly I could sell some of them and probably pay cash for a Tesla anyways, but like I said, at this price point, buying a Tesla for cash probably not such a good idea, because it's like you could always use cash for something else. Like you could flip stuff, at that price and have a sense of freedom. But if you buy something for cash, then you just wasted all that money, and cash is king, kind of. Like if you got it, it's good. But if you spent it on the car and then you feel like, okay, well, now I got to do nothing but Uber because I got like no cash to try to, flip cars or whatever, right? Then it kind of feels bad, because it's sort of like you're going backwards, and I don't want to go backwards. So I think renting it is a good option, because some days I want to do Uber, some days I don't. So I rented it. First time for 2 weeks, I rented it, got that out of the way. What that did for me is a couple things. First of all, I got to experience the Tesla, which was great, okay? Second thing is, I looked at my income that I'm making for Uber, and I'm like, is this really what I want to make? Like this type of income. And it was anywhere from $20 to $25 per hour. That's gross pay. Then you got to take your stuff out of it, right? And I'm thinking like, wow, is this really the best use of my time? Like really? So it's still in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, regardless of what I'm buying a Tesla for or a new car for, right? I will be probably using it somewhat for Uber. Is this really the best use of my miles on the car? The best use of my time? Because basically you're making minimum wage at that point. So my realization is, no, it is not, because after I write off expenses, I'm making anywhere from $9 to $15 an hour, and I'm thinking like that's not my hopes and dreams, and renting a car allows me to realize the actual income currently, and allows me to like think with clear mind. Because while sometimes I would like to drive for Uber, I might not want to drive all the time. So I just gave the Tesla back for like 1 week, took care of what I have to take care of, which was actually a good idea for me to do that, made some money doing it. And then this was a rain week. It's gonna be rainy today still. It just rains all week. And with that being said, now it's been almost 1 week since I've been renting a car, and I looked at this again. I'm like, well, this income here, like, it's just terrible. I don't think I would like to buy a car and just use up all the miles to barely get paid. Like, it's just not good. It's good for like between jobs type of situation, or just kind of like a little side hustle. Maybe you're taking care of, let's say, some errands, and you need to go, let's say like for me, like towards Charlotte. Maybe I gotta get there, and maybe I take a passenger along the way. That kind of makes sense, because I'm already driving to Charlotte. Maybe I'm driving back, and like I could just take passengers around, and then boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, I make it home. Or sometimes you drive them around, and it's like, hey, before you know, it's like you could go and spend that money on the restaurant or something. But as far as income goes, in order to make really good money here, you got to drive like crazy, like day and night pretty much, just to make money. But then you ask yourself, well, why are you doing that, right? Well, that's because the income's so low. In order to actually make a lot of money, you have to put in all that time. But what's the actual income that I'm getting? About $15 an hour. But if I work all that overtime, I'm still getting $15 an hour. There's no overtime. So then might as well then just get a regular job, put all that time in, right, and get all that money. But still, I am against having a regular job, because there's a whole other thing that you have to think about, which is taxes. So when you have a regular job, there's nothing to write off. Like, even if you're making more than $15 an hour at a job, let's say like $20 an hour or like $25, Now you're paying all that money to taxes. You don't get to write off nothing, and you still got to drive to work, and you still got to fill up your car. You still got that car expense, maybe the car note or whatever you're paying, but there's nothing to write off. And this is why driving a used car makes the most amount of sense for like Uber. You get the best use out of that car. Like, you use those miles on it. It's a old car anyways. Doesn't matter. You don't even care about it. There's no emotional attachment that you would have to a brand new car. And for me, it would be like a Tesla. While I still feel like buying a Tesla, I don't think I will, because this is one thing that I was going to talk to you guys about. There's lots of things that are happening right now when it comes to Tesla. So first of all, a new Tesla Model 3 Highland model is getting ready to come out. Plus, another two-door model getting ready to come out. Cybertruck is about to hit the market. There's still plenty of Model 3s available to buy. And of course, China factory, they already stopped producing their Model 3s. While at the same time, the Model Y, which looks kind of like a Model 3, is still being produced. And there's so many of them available now because maybe people are thinking like, okay, maybe I'll get the Cybertruck, maybe I'll get this new Model 2, whatever it's going to be called, maybe I'll get this Model 3 Highland, and everybody's kind of like waiting. Therefore, these prices with the Tesla, it's kind of like the stock market for the cars. They go up and down. Usually they're just going down because the inventory keep going up. So that means these Model 3s are getting cheaper. The new Model 3 is rumored to be $27,000. On top of that, there's going to be like a tax deduction that you could apply. So that could be like, if it's a $27,000 vehicle and you're applying a $7,500 tax deduction, well, now you're paying like $19,000 for the car. You know, is that really going to happen, or this could be just rumors? But if that's the case, that's a big change right there. Also, Cybertrucks, if they're going to be around $50,000, that's close enough to Model Y price. People may want to get that Cybertruck just because it's unlike anything else on the road. So also with all this stuff kind of like happening, there's so many other electric cars out there in the market that are really good candidates. Hyundai makes good ones, and I'm just talking about like affordable. I would not really necessarily call them luxury. And of course you got the Kia brand, and then you got, you know, BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. They're producing their electric cars as well. On top of that, Ford. So Ford and all these other manufacturers, they're producing these cars that are kind of like losing money on these electric cars. So then Tesla slashes the prices, causing these manufacturers to be squeezed. So their cars are going to be sitting on the parking lot now because who's going to buy them? You know, people are going to buy the Teslas. So that means that these other manufacturers, they're going to have to slash prices too while losing money. Right now, they're probably just waiting around, but they can't wait like too long because they're just going to be like sitting around. Who's going to want to pay, let's say like $50,000, let's say for like a Kia, that's comparable to, let's say like a Model 3 or Model Y, when you could get like a Model 3 for like 30 grand, you know, and it qualifies for you to get all those, you know, tax incentives. So there's all that stuff to consider. And then, you know, you got the Model S, which has been designed since 2004, 2005, I mean 2014, 2015, excuse me. Model X around like 2015, 2016. They're kind of getting a little bit outdated. I mean, they still look great, but what it means to me, like, okay, most cars, they get produced for 5 years and then they get redesigned. So that means they're gonna get redesigned soon. That means like when a Tesla prices for the Model 3s and Model Ys, for the brand new ones, fall in price dramatically. Think about all the used car market when it comes to Teslas. Like the used car market, all the dealers that bought them at auctions and whatnot so they could, like, you know, resell them. Nobody's gonna buy them. That means the dealer gonna be slashing prices on all these Teslas. Then think about what's gonna happen at car auctions. All these electric cars, they still end up getting like whatever. They'll end up at car auctions. So think about all the pricing that's gonna be at the car auctions. They're gonna be even cheaper. And I buy cars at car auctions. So that means buying a brand new Tesla, it's kind of dumb right now, I think, or any electric car for that matter, just because the prices are gonna get slashed like crazy pretty soon, and it's no stopping that. I don't think. I don't think demand is gonna like rise like out of the blue. And of course, having high interest rates. And when I looked at them, and I just like pretend like you got the worst credit, which mine is fine, and interest rates is around like 10%. So who's gonna want to buy a car, a house at 7,500, percent? Well, 7.5%. It's just way too expensive. So that means less people are buying, more cars are available. Car price is gonna fall in price, because when you buy a car that's cheaper, but you're buying it with that expensive interest rate, you're still kind of paying a lot for the car. So I've looked at all of these things, and this is just me talking about them lightly, and I'm thinking like, okay, best decision I could do is just wait, because even though the new models are coming out, I have nothing against this old Model 3 design. It looks fine to me. I love it. So if I could get one at a car auction, like not even used, just at a car auction, which is like more than used, I guess, then I'll be happy with it. But anyways, that is my story. That is my way of thinking. Let me know, guys, what you think, and what would you do? Like, let's say you were in the market to buy a brand new car. Let's say like an electric car. Would you be buying one right now? Did you buy one right now? Do you feel like that was a bad deal for you? But anyways, gotta go.